I'm proud of it. Like, people can think whatever, but then I just explain them, well, I do what I like. I travel all around the world. I have friends. I still go out with my friends in my city. So for me, it's making my dream.
Welcome back to the opening day of the Season 3 European League of Legends Championship Series. If you're just joining us, we're about to see SK Gaming take on old rivals Fnatic. So let's introduce the team. Starting off with Fnatic, we have in the mid lane Xpeke. We have the jungler Cyanide. In the top lane, Soaz. On support, N-rated. And AD carry, Yellowstar. And on the other side, we have SK Gaming with on support, Nif. The AD carry, Candy Panda. The team captain and mid, Ocelot. The jungler, Hercubot. And in the top lane, Kevin. All right, these teams are fired up and they're about to see the very first European LCS matchup. So let's send it over to D-Man and Joe.
Ladies and gentlemen, here it go, Joe. This is going to be it.
As we said before, El Clasico. I hope that we get the same thing today, and I'm pretty sure we're going to get something from this one. Fnatic versus SK Gaming. Let's take one more look again at their lineups, as if you weren't familiar with them already. SK Gaming, of course, Kevin, Ocelot, Candy Panda, Nif, and Hercubot.
And of course, for Fnatic, it is Soaz, Xpeke, or just Peke as we can refer to him, Yellowstar, N-rated, and Cyanide. So, wow. These two teams, they've met each other just 2 weeks ago in Katowice. Was it 2 weeks ago? It's around about that.
We've been travelling for quite a while. I think it was 3 weeks ago.
It's all one. Maybe 3 weeks, I don't know. But it's unusual that they do get to face each other so quick when they've had such a shocking game. Because, you know, for SK Gaming, they're going to want to get the revenge back. And if for Fnatic, you know, they've got to rise back to that point again. Because, honestly, that game, they were losing that game.
They were. And that's the really incredible thing about why that was such a special moment. Because in all fairness, they should have probably lost that game. Peke obviously becoming the hero of the day. But will that happen more than 2 games in a row? Not usually. That's, I'd say, 1 in 1,000 maybe opportunity to come back in a game where you're that far behind. The question is, how is it all going to come down today? We know how strong Fnatic have been recently. SK Gaming, they've been practicing like madmen, getting ready for Season 3 and for the LCS here in Europe. So, really, they could come up with anything today.
Yeah, so things are going to get underway here. So, pick some bans. What do we think, Joe? What do we think the bans would be happening?
It's a really hard one to call again. I mean, we've seen so much recently from all the teams in Europe that it's made it really hard to call the bans out. Yes, we still have those real... It might be a Kassadin ban in there. But so far we can see that Wukong banned out by SK Gaming. We know that it becomes a real problem in those AoE comps. Xin Zhao on the other side, he's just been a monster with a lot of teams recently in that jungle and in the mid lane as well. We've seen quite a lot of him.
Yeah, and that's going to pose an interesting thought for Diamond Prox later on. Who do you ban against him? Lee Sin or Xin Zhao now? But Xin Zhao has been banned, Shen and Malphite. So stay in the standards, get in with those top laners, and also, of course, Wukong. We saw the Wukong being used by Peke in the mid lane, and we've seen Tams running it a few times as well. So it's starting to become a popular. Remember, Peke also ran AP Ezreal in Katowice. Did you see something crazy like that? Well, it was. I mean, them True Shot barrages were taking half the hit points off people.
Yeah, it was real dangerous stuff. And not sure, again, because they've been practicing behind closed doors, they've been practicing maybe something secret. There is a very much respect ban for Kassadin there. They don't want to let Peke even have a
do you think Kevin called for that?
Slightest opportunity. Kevin's like, I'm not chasing that kid around the Nexus anymore, guys, just ban him.
We did tease him a little bit over that one, and I did just actually say to him, I was like, the stage is kind of like a half moon set up with a gap in the middle. You'll be alright. If you need to catch Peke, you can get him. He's like, screw you. But Vi being banned out, because remember, we did see Vi coming into it in the 1.7 patch that was used at Warsaw. We're on 1.74 patch for this tournament. It's not quite the 3.01 yet, so we have no Thresh. Thresh is not available to them. It is blocked out. but there is a lot available to him. So what will the first pick for SKG be? Olaf is available, has been picked and banned almost 100%, I think, through Warsaw.
Yeah, and that Viban, I mean, we didn't really see SK play much of it. I think it was only Shusha that played him in the qualifiers for Dragonborns. That obviously, to me, says that they've seen that SK have been doing something with Vi in training. They've heard from somewhere. But that is one thing. They've let this Olaf come through. He's a first pick. We still have, for example, Kha'Zix available in there. Well, they're going pretty quick here. I mean, Fnatic picking up the Caitlyn and that Kayle right at the start.
Well, if you remember, cast your mind back to El Clasico in Katowice, Candy Panda on Caitlyn was one of the people that would really brought them back into the game, helped them out so strongly. Kayle, well, has been really a flavoursome pick in the last month or two, especially in the OGN. OGN have been using it very heavily. Yet to see it amazingly used in Europe myself. It's almost like the Amumu, the Curse of the Sad bullet time that we've been seeing. We've not seen a European team use that. It is available, that setup, but I don't think they're going to go for it. I don't think either of these teams will move towards it. Cho'Gath has been a very popular jungler lately. Wouldn't be surprised to see Hercubot going with something favourite, but we did see him use Shaco. Was that against Fnatic as well? It was definitely in Katowice. I'm not too sure who it was against.
It wasn't against
quite
Fnatic,
work out.
though,
I think it was against one of the Azubus.
Yeah, and it didn't, like you say, really work out for him. There is a Twitch locked in, though, and they did decide to go with the Cho'Gath after that. So we're not going to be seeing that Curse of the Sad bullet time by the looks of things. As you said, it's been very hit and miss here and there. Usually it's the Koreans that have managed to hit it. The Europeans trying to replicate what they'd seen in OGN just didn't quite have it down. So it looks like that will be left out of our first game today. What are Fnatic going to be pairing in here with Caitlyn? Looks like a Taric.
Well, the Taric possibly going to come in. Obviously, Sona is available. Definitely very nice. That crescendo, we saw some amazing. If you've not seen it, don't want to spoil it, but Elements did some pretty damn good flash crescendos earlier on yesterday. I say earlier on, it technically was earlier on. It was like 2 a.m. for us guys. It was still today. It's been a long day, ladies and gentlemen. It is, of course. It's just coming up with 6:30 here in Central European time. So if we do refer to it as tonight, that's because we are in Europe. So if you're watching us, joining us from America, then good morning to you guys. But Evelyn being locked in there. Wow. Okay, this is going to be jungle Kayle then, surely.
Well, actually, we've seen a little bit of Evelyn top as well coming out.
Oh, yes.
If we think about Soaz, he can play everything in this top lane. But it's one of those combos right now that could still go either way. They could still switch things around, leaving SK guessing. What are SK going to come up with? Obviously, that Olaf in there. We know that Kevin can play a good Olaf. Not sure whether they'd end up having, Hercubot with Olaf in the jungle, Cho'Gath somewhere else. Again, they're leaving us guessing here for these last two picks. We know that the Rat is in there, though. And actually, generally, when we've seen this Twitch, it's been pretty devastating.
Oslo's favourite champion is actually there, which is LeBlanc. Question is, will he go for it? It doesn't really fit into many team compositions. It was the one-trick pony. If you saw the North American live qualifiers, that was the one-trick LeBlanc. I don't think it's really going to fit. Nunu, of course, this is pre-nerf on Nunu as well. So Nunu very strong in this one. Would work very well. And there it is, Anivia being locked in. So Ocelot on Anivia. Question is, will they go for a lane swap? I'm not too sure if they're aiming to do that one. They have the Olaf, so it's a possibility that they can certainly push for the 2v1 because Olaf is very strong in that 2v1 lane. If it is Evelyn in that top lane, that is going to be really hard as a 2v1. They may well try and force it. We'll see whether it is going to be a AP pick here, whether it's going to be another strong top laner. So as, of course, Kha'Zix is available.
Yeah. Kha'Zix is available. He's almost been ignored in this one. No ban, no pick as of yet. We are in the final pick, so there is still that possibility that Kha'Zix can come into this whole equation for Fnatic. But as you can see, they're running the time down here. They're wondering where to go, and it's going to be an
Holy moly.
Wow.
Wow, okay. This is throwing things wide open. This is a double AD carry strat. So who is going to be on Caitlyn? That's the question. Who is going to be on Urgot? We're going to see these switching around. We're going to try and keep our eye on this champion select because I have no idea which way this could turn out. I would expect Yellowstar and N-Rated to stay there as that combo. The question is, will it be Peke or will it be Soaz on Urgot? I'm not too sure which is going to work out better against Anivia.
One great thing that they've got here is that switchability. I'm going to go ahead and just make that word
switchability.
You've got Taric, who can play amazingly well with Urgot, which has now been switched to Yellow Star. Caitlyn, obviously combining with the traps and the stuns, can be a real nightmare. Makes that Piltover Peacemaker a piece of cake to hit at the end. But where will they be? In which lanes will they be? That's what we're going to be finding out. Yeah, I really wouldn't be surprised to see a bit of a mashup across the board.
Yeah, and we're going to wait to see if they switch across. It is going to be Peke. Peke's in the middle on Caitlyn. It's going to be Yellow Star and Urgot down that bottom lane. Okay. Well, we saw it already. We saw AP Ezreal coming out in the middle this time. It's a throwback to Season 1, Joe. Season 1 that Fnatic won. Yeah. They have gone with the AD carry in that mid lane. I am quite excited because Anivia versus Caitlyn, I give that to Caitlyn.
Well, she's got a devastating range there, and we know that Anivia starts very squishy.
She's like flapping around.
Slow. It's going to be difficult. It's going to be a very, very difficult game. Demon, let's throw it all down. Who do you favour in this game, number one?
This is a 50-50. I could flip a coin, and I think these teams could win. It'd be separate each time. But let's get into the game, ladies and gentlemen. It is going to be Fnatic versus SK Gaming. I am excited for this one. I'm sure you guys are all excited at home. It is going to be SK Gaming. They have the blue side, and it is going to be Fnatic on the red side. So as we load into it, you can see right there was Peke. He is the cop. Caitlyn, I'm interested to see how the heck this is going to work out. We've seen some fantastic Urgot play in North American qualifiers. It was really effectively what got Team Marm through. They played that Urgot Taric lane. But with Kale in there, I do not know. I mean, Jungle Kale was fantastic in the European Live qualifiers. We saw a lot of teams running that. I don't think I've seen Cyanide running it. I'm sure he absolutely has. This is a strat they've pulled out, though, that I'm just no idea how this could work out. And the moment Soaz is leveling himself out in their mid lane, we'll see which way they're going to switch around, whether anyone's going to go in a particular lane. As it stands, it looks like it will be Olaf in the top lane, but I'm not too sure. Looking like the two duo lanes will be facing each other.
Yeah, very interesting game. I actually tried to tune into Cyanide's stream a bit to figure out, is he going to throw any curveballs our way? And what I saw there was a jungle Shaco and a jungle Ezreal.
Ezreal, yeah.
Well, I didn't see him playing Kale, but if there's one man that probably can, and steal Barons on his way to victory, then it still would be someone like Cyanide. But it looks like we're going to get a fairly pensive start here. We can see that Cyanide and Yellow start up by their wolves. Over on the other side of the map, down by the golems, we're seeing Candy Panda and Nif take those away, and there is the wolf start as well for SK Gaming.
Okay, the one big thing I do see here is the fact that there is no big bruiser front line for Fnatic. The fact that they do have good crowd controller. They have Yellow Star in there. Obviously, he's going to be landing a lot of shots from range. They have the Dazzle from Enrated, but honestly, there's not a lot to slow SK game down. So there's not a lot to spot Olaf piling through onto either Peke or Soaz. But the question is, who does he go for? Because there's a heck of a lot of damage on Fnatic there. Of course, they have a lot of stuns as well. Candy Panda could potentially get that spray and play in a perfect position and clean up. We'll see how this one plays out, though. So the lanes are starting to stack themselves out. We see the duo lane down the bottom here. Candy Panda and Nif on Twitch and Nunu. Blood Boil is going to be used constantly through this one, but they are against that lethal strong lane, early strong domination lane, as well as Taric and Urgot. Now I'm waiting for Enrated to see whether he's going to bother dazzling anyone. Nif's almost taunting him. He's like, come on, hit me. But he's not going for it at the moment. I don't think he's even leveled Dazzle. No, he hasn't. He's gone with his Shatter to start with, so that armor.
Yeah, and that's the dangerous thing about that whole lane, is that once a stun comes in, Urgot can lay the pain down so very, very quickly. There we see Hercubot on his path through the jungle, already got those double buffs in. We should see him going into lane at some time soon. Let's have a look at the top lane, because there was a little bit of early action going on in that one. And that was, of course, Evelyn versus Olaf up there. And, well, to be honest, Kevin had put down a lot of damage. As Candy Panda here going to get stunned up. Could this be First Blood? Flashes away. He's going to cleanse away. Nif going low as well, and Fnatic not quite able to pick up that First Blood.
That Acid Hunter was locked on, but he just managed to flash out of the range of it, and you can see Hercubot trying to catch on towards Peke. He's just going to 90 caliber net away, will avoid the rupture as well. He has got Cyanide coming around, but the pings go down. SK Gaming well aware of that one. So the top lane, Soaz versus Kevin. I just don't know how this one's going to work out between the two. You can see they have the potions. Soaz went with a big stack of pots early on, big stack of health pots. And you can see actually Kevin he doesn't want to go too aggressive. He knows that Cyanide was around that river somewhere, so he can see he's gone a little bit defensive at the moment. He went with the crystalline flask, and it was funny, you know, thinking back to Kobe mentioning the fact that everybody's becoming alcoholics, everybody's been taking those crystalline flasks. Right here, there is only 2 on the board, so there's a lot of people in Europe certainly favouring the health pots, and in fact the longsword for Yellowstar. So he's gone with the damage earlier on, so we'll see how that works out, considering it's a complete counter, because Kanda Panda went with the armor, so he knew he was up against a very aggressive Yellowstar, and the lock-on comes in. They're going to get the slowdown. Can they get the slowdown? You can see N-Rated comes in, he gets the shatter down on him, but it's a great rupture from Hercubot, just stops that attack dead in its tracks.
Yeah, that was a fantastic rupture coming out of Hercubot. We talked about how we were not disappointed, but I'm sure he himself was a little bit frustrated with his performance in Katowice with SK. He's looking to make their amends for that one here, and I tell you what, that was a brilliant rupture to stop things happening here in the early game. In that top lane though, look at the difference in level already. Olaf having at least a level lead over Evelyn, and we know once this Olaf, all he needs to do is build health. You can see how low he got Soaz in that little exchange there. Did use his Ghost and his Ignite to get in there, but it's not always about getting that kill in the early stages. It's more about forcing them away from lane. As we can see there, Ocelot in the middle also getting fairly low, and he's having a bit of trouble going up against XPK's Caitlyn.
Yeah, and you'd expect him to be a little bit behind in the CS. You're going to see that Piltover Pacemaker is going to flick across, but I expect Ocelot to land those stuns pretty well. As it is, Fnatic being pushed pretty heavily in this bottom lane. You can see they're being forced back. Candy Panda on Twitch. He's getting a lot of free farm right now. It's working out well. He's actually keeping up quite well with Yellowstar. Kept up with the CS between the two. We're trying to sort those out in a little while. They're not quite lined up, but as it stands, I don't know how this one's going to go, Joe. This is so even between the lanes. You can see the gold really hasn't split across. Nobody really opening things up with the gold leads. We do see Hercubot trying to sneak his way through. So as with that Tribush putting that ward out, has to be careful here. And he does return back to lane. Hercubot, though, has shown himself he's invisible. And instead, he's not going to fall for it. He's not going to get ganked out. He's just going to stay stealthed up and get pushed on towards his tower. Does put out a couple of those spikes, but he's going to farm himself quite happily there. Hercubot shows himself a little too early. This is the difference here, Joe. This is the difference. Look at the damage that Peke can put down on that tower.
Yeah, he's got very good pushing power. Ocelot just doesn't have the health to really go up against him in that middle lane as well. And wouldn't surprise, maybe not a first blood in there because of the whole egg thing that Ocelot's going on there. Obviously, he's passive, but the problem is, can he keep his turret alive? My opinion is that
he's got no mana.
Yeah, he's going to need some real help here if he's to keep hold of it. Is the ultimate going to come out? There is the egg from Ocelot, but, you know, he's been egged behind his turret. A safe position overall, but XPK will take that one and say, thank you very much, you're going to have to go home, and I'm just going to keep pushing and farming my way through.
Farming his way through. They will have the exact timer. I know what Yellowstar is like. I actually remember SK talking about how good that Yellowstar was on the timers. They will know exactly how long that rebirth is going to be down for. Obviously, you can just check it by clicking on him, seeing when it comes back, but they're going to be happy with that one. So 60 CS to 41. Big difference in that mid lane. Top lane, despite the pushing, despite the craziness we're seeing, Soaz is actually ahead in CS of Kevin so far.
And that's the beauty, I think, of Evelyn as well, that he can sit back, especially against an Olaf where you really can't afford to get up in his face, using that hate spike, using the range that it's got to keep that farm going. And as you said, he's above 10 CS in the lead. However, Olaf has that giant spell. I was talking about that earlier on. It's an important factor in the entire game to have that. There is the blue buff taken again by Cyanide. Of course, Caitlyn in the middle doesn't really need it.
Yeah, and that's going to help out the jungler. So Cyanide may get a bit of an advantage over him at the moment. He is a little bit behind in terms of CS, but the fact that he's picking theirs up should give him a little bit more experience. As it is, he's actually behind in levels, so that obviously is not working out quite as I'd expect it to. But Peke just clearing out. This is going to be the difference now. Now that Ocelot's gone past level 6, oh, we're seeing Soaz coming in towards Hercubot around that blue buff. That's going to force him away. We did just see Ocelot coming around, but he's going to get forced back. You can see Cyanide and Peke just above. They're coming in to steal away that blue buff. If they can give that to Soaz, it's going to be him they want. Cyanide's going to slip around there. Kevin also coming in close. It is going to get taken down very low, but they're all backing away again. They're not ready to quite fight for this one in a full-on brawl.
That could have been absolute danger, to be honest with you, if that blue buff hadn't have gone over. I mean, the problem that they really have now is that Ocelot doesn't have it. Ocelot doesn't have that blue buff. We saw him earlier, how quickly he's running out of mana on this Anivia, and to go up against Xpeke, the man who's just basically, his damage is all coming from them auto attacks. Ocelot is going to have a real struggle to keep up.
There's nothing more annoying than a Piltover coming across you just as you're trying to back away, and Ocelot is not getting the time to back away. You see him laying down again, the damage, the rupture missing, and well, Peke is so versatile, he can quite easily micro around all of these actions they're trying to throw. Meanwhile, down the bottom here, Nif is getting taken down very low. Enrater comes out, Cleanse comes out from Candy Panda. Spray and Pray is on towards Yellowstar. Isn't enough damage though. He could turn this back on towards Fnatic. He's going to try to. He does get the poison down. Is it going to be enough? The health block is ticking on Enrater. He should just survive. Candy Panda, no! The poison was enough. He gets first blood. Can he get the second? It's going to be the poison tick. Is not going to be enough on Yellowstar, but first blood to Candy Panda.
Amazing stuff there, and that's the danger with overextending with these aggressive lanes with Urgot Taric. When you want to get in there, get the stun down, put the damage in there, you can get caught out quite easily. As Hercule actually going to flash in here on towards Xpeke, who flashes himself to get away. The silence not quite going to be enough. Peke, now he'll be a little bit unhappy that flash had to be burnt by him, but he stayed safe, and that's the real big thing for him. He's 89 to 62 CS in the lead in this middle lane. Got the Berserker Greaves and a Vamp Scepter for that sustain. You can see that Anivia, Tear of the Goddess, Health Crystal, the Amp Tome, not quite on the same level. And we've seen without that blue buff how dangerous it's going to be there, as Xpeke going super low to Ocelot. But again, super low is not dead.
No, he did survive just about. Very, very close stuff though. Brutalizer we do see coming out here for Yellowstar. Is he going to be Rusher in that Black Cleaver, I wonder? It's interesting to see the builds of Urgot. We saw it was Double Lift playing Urgot, and everybody forgot about how my damaging Urgot could be for COG versus TSM. We do see Soaz coming back around. He's going to go on towards Ocelot. They're diving under the tower. It's a good stuff from Ocelot. Oh, and a great wall. The invulnerability was used by Cyanide on Soaz there. Will he get caught out? He's going to take another tower here. They're taking down very low, but they didn't get on towards Ocelot. And again, SK escaped without taking too much damage.
And there's the beauty of the Anivia. The wall coming in is a amazing crowd control effect to stop you being pushed down in that situation. Without that, he would have surely been dead. We saw the Kale ultimate coming to keep him alive. Without that, he would have probably died actually from that one. So they kept him safe. The big thing now, though, that we can see is Fnatic are doing Dragon 11 minutes and 15 seconds into the game. They're only 600 gold ahead from that one. And that just shows you that this game is still very open. The twitch between those two AD carries. The saving grace in terms of AD carries is Xpeke, of course, playing Caitlyn this time around. He is nudging towards 1,000 gold lead over the Anivia, over Ocelot in this middle lane.
Yeah, he's farming it well, and the pressure they've been putting on that blue buff has been working well, because they've not allowed him to have that blue buff at all yet. I don't think Ocelot's managed to pick it up. Twice they've took it away from him. Once they've forced their own team to take it. Second time you saw Cyanide picking it up, and they haven't got quite the timing round on the Dragon at the moment, so they can't manage to figure that one out. They did just take a peek. Did they just pick up Dragon? I don't think we saw it on shot. I'm pretty sure they did. 21 minutes gone, 2-0. I'm almost certain Dragon just went down.
So let's see what the next thing to come around is here. We have Fnatic, of course, behind in the kills, and there we go. Xpeke getting hit with a big chunk of damage. Clearing out that lane. Actually, he's going to lay the ulti down there onto Ocelot. Takes around about a third of his health there when he's at full HP. So that's just one extra thing for Xpeke to throw at him at any point in the fight, to try and force him out of the lane, to throw him off of that of his minion kills, which is always a very important thing to do throughout the game. The top lane CS there between Soaz and Kevin is very even.
And if we're just going to check out a replay of exactly what happened a moment ago, we do see as the teams start to get themselves back. So let's just check this out and see what happened earlier on. It was, of course, down the bottom lane.
And we saw that position reverser coming down on towards Nif. You can see he's very low as the exhausts come out. Nif actually will walk away from that one, stays alive, but it's Candy Panda laying down all the damage here. Enrated not able to get away in the end.
And that's how Enrated went down. Here we are back on towards the Dragon. I mentioned it was going to go down, but it hadn't spawned yet. We do see Fnatic against got out. Spray and Break comes out. They're going to force him away. Soaz taken down very low.
Here we go, Soaz flashing over the wall, trying to escape from that one. No deaths in that fight, including the Dragon. He is still up and alive as a stun comes down on towards Xpeke. Wow, flash away from Ocelot there. He didn't want to have his position reversed into the middle of the Fnatic team by Urgot, and that Dragon is falling lower and lower and will in the end be taken by SK. Great win for them.
Very good pickup for them. It does give them that gold advantage. They are 2-0 up in kills. Very even. They may even be able to take a turret from this one as well, which will give them another big lead. So I'll stretch their gold lead to about 2,000 as they come around. Peke is going to try and pult over, try and clear out that wave. They do have the 2 ADs. They should be able to take a lot of the minions down. We can see Peke is consistently trying to take down those minions, and he does manage to defend it. And Soaz was trying to sneak around there. They pinged him out, though. Great ward placement from SK. They're going to continue to chase this one. Candy Panda's managed to catch on towards Soaz there. Doesn't get the slowdown. Forces him away, but they're going to come and steal the blue.
Yeah, that blue up for grabs here by SK Gaming. It's already down to half. Will be taken away before it can be stolen. I say stolen. Be taken by the team who should have had it, obviously, Fnatic. There comes the ultimate out, actually. Anivia is going to get egged up the top side by Soaz. And there is the kill, though, coming down onto him. But Ocelot is going to die from this one. He's got Xpeke. Did get the stun in the end. Urgot is also very low there on the top side of things. Peke's positioning maybe enough to stop them as he pilt over Peacemakers in. The kill onto Nif is secure. Double kill for Peke. Are they finished? They're charging down Candy Panda, who's very low, but he's just too far out of the equation. And what a bit of a turnaround there from Fnatic.
Very, very tight fight, and now the gold dead even. 3-2 in kills. We do see the top lane. Cyanide's been having to defend this one while it's all been happening. Kevin was not involved in that fight, and you can see he did use his Ragnarok, his Ghost, and his Ignite on Cyanide to try and force him down, but the bottom turret could well go down, and this will be Fnatic picking up the lead as they take the second turret of the game with Peke. And of course, this is the advantage they have. This is the advantage. They have such a big AD carry line. Effectively, Cyanide's an AD carry in there as well. He can be used, certainly has been used many times, and they're putting pressure across the turrets, and we know that turrets win games.
Turrets win games. And the thing we're seeing now is the Infinity Head finished for Caitlyn. Picked up a pickaxe as well. That damage spike into the next fight is going to be probably uncontrollable for SK at this point. And as you said, with Urgot and Caitlyn in that lane, Urgot can quite happily become even more tanky than you would see him if there wasn't that second option of AD damage like we're seeing coming out of Caitlyn. He's got that giant spell, Brutalizer in there, the health crystal with the tier as well. So he is already a very, very tanky person. Kevin, on the other hand, you can see him on the left-hand side right now. He's got the Warmog stun, he's got the giant spell in there, and we know that stacking health, a superb way to win games. How will it go in the end, though?
Well, we do see the DFG. That's going to help out from Soaz. It's going to try and chip down them health. But if you have just joined us, ladies and gentlemen, this is the League of Legends Championship Series here in Europe. The Game 1 underway. 20 minutes gone into this. SK Gaming versus Fnatic. If you missed previous engagements of these matches, they have always produced a dazzling result, so we're expecting fireworks to come from this match. As it stands, it's very, very tight between the two, and Kevin may get himself caught out in the top there. He does throw the axe out. Does he realize that Soaz is nearby? He does now.
Yeah, he figured that one out. He's like, I'll throw an axe, he was around. Oh, there's Urgot just chilling in the bush, trying to take me out. But again, Kevin, he's Olaf. He's so hard to pin down, and that's got to be the real worry for Fnatic in this one, because they're not a lineup that can really win this game very quickly. So I'd say not before 30 minutes at this rate, how close it is. And that means that, that Olaf is going to become a real problem. As you say, getting to that back line, whether that's in towards Caitlyn, whether that's in towards Urgot, he can pick his targets here, and there's not a lot that Fnatic can do to stop that.
We're seeing a big damage spike suddenly coming out from SK Gaming. The Infinity Edge has just been completed by Candy Panda. Ocelot also just picked up that Leandris because he had that tier a long time ago. I would not be surprised to see that turn into a Manamune and a Muramana later on. Let's see how they do continue building though. Warmogs, of course, this time on Yellow Star. So Yellow Star's gone very aggressive. Spray and pray coming out from Candy Panda there. Dazzle comes straight out on that wall. It can be a hit and miss thing. But this time it was a miss.
Yeah, it's always dangerous at the same time as being, or can be absolutely brilliant. If you misplace that wall, you can lock members of your own team in places that you didn't want them to. Question is now, can Soaz with Evelyn really hold on to this top lane? The rest of SK are actually collapsing in on that one. Soaz is actually just going to pop his W and say, I'm not involved in this one. I'm going to give it up. not going to be safe enough to let me stay around there. They saw Nif and Candy Panda coming up. He didn't want any part of that action, and we can see them all backing down towards the south because that blue buff was stolen away last time. Is it going to be coming up soon? I couldn't quite get tracks on who got it on that last time, but either way, SK aren't going to be wanting to lose any more of them. You can see that XPK does actually have the blue from their side.
Very good work there from SK Gaming. Very tactically well played. They pressured on towards that top two and did get it there. Candy Panda just taking down the Wraiths. But as it is, no real aggressive movements from Fnatic here. They're hoping to try and pick someone off, but they're just not positioning themselves right. And so, as you can see, desperately trying to get away. The action's going to catch onto him. So Kevin Hercubot might be able to turn around to him. Soaz is going to turn this one back onto him, though. We do have Yellowstar making his way up north. They are going to back away straight away. Cyanide was in tow as well. The rest of Fnatic, they can't make anything work right now. And SK Gaming, they're starting to farm this one out nicely.
Yeah, and that's the thing that they want to have as well. This Caitlyn get as much farm as possible. Already got the most in the game at 237. Got that 2-0 as well. So we talk about Yellowstar being the AD carry in the team for for Fnatic. But right now, it's going to be XPK that's really making the big difference. And here looks like another tower coming down for Fnatic. That gives them the tower lead back. They are currently 1,000 gold there or thereabouts in the lead. So this one's still a real nail-biter. And we're starting to see more and more items coming out. Needlessly large rod added into Evelyn's build. Sunfire Cape finished off for Olaf. As you said earlier on, the Leandra is picked up by Ocelot. You've got the two Infinity Edges, one for either side. Urgot has now got that Warmog's finished as well, so everyone becoming tankier and tankier. There's more damage coming out as well, and the next big clash surely will be coming around this dragon that's just spawned.
And we do finally see the Sightstone from Enraid. It is a long way behind on that one. He did go for the GP10 items early though, so we'll see how that affects things. Here you go, you can see that the dragon is up and people are starting to position themselves here. Fnatic work their way back down from base. They've all been back to buy. SK Gaming also have Twitch making his way back in the form of Candy Panda. They could, of course, turn this back on towards the mid turret, and that's what they're going to do. Fnatic are not in position to defend this one. They could quickly push it.
Yeah, and it looks like that's exactly what they're going to do. They've got decent wave clearing now. I say decent, I mean good wave clearing with the axe, with the Anivia in there as well. But it's more about forcing it out to try and get that positional advantage. Oh, here is Soaz actually getting caught out. He's not surviving that one. Hercubot will actually take him down there with the feast. Noms down on him to get the kill. Dragon now should be secure for SK. Fnatic can't do anything about it.
Dragon down, SK Gaming take the gold lead once again, but it is only a 400 gold lead. Of course, they are one tower behind, which is swinging things around. But again, Soaz just caught out of position there. You can see what he was trying to do. He was trying to do that pincer move. He wants to get behind. He wants to get the damage on towards Candy Panda if they push towards it. But they just caught him out. You can see that sight ward was on the dragon, and well, he just walked straight over it, which is generally going to give you a position away. Fnatic going to try and gain something from this one. They realize that SK may well have backed away after that dragon. They're going to try and force up the mid.
Yeah, good strategy indeed from Fnatic if they can get in there and do some more damage onto this inner middle turret. He's already taken, I think, about a third there if my eyes weren't deceiving me. There's traps being put down as well just to try and control the positioning that SK can have on that one. Twitch is actually in the bottom side of the SK jungle here, just taking away that red buff, something to add into the SK armory should they end up getting into a fight with Fnatic, who are also doing that red buff. Of course, the XPK leading the charge of that one. Let's have a look at the gold. Actually, XPK is sat on 2,700 gold right now, 1,600 gold for Urgot. That's going to be a big spending spree. Ocelot in a similar position with 1,700. Got a good bit of shopping to do when they go back home next.
Well, he could go Bloodthirster or Last Whisper, whichever he chooses, honestly. He's got the gold to complete them. As it is, SK Gaming, we also saw a big chunk of gold and QSS coming out for Candy Panda. He's going to be so slippery, hard to pin down now. He realizes he is the target. He's got that cleanse on as well, of course, and that flash. He's going to be very hard to pin down. Let's see what they're going to do. They're all backing off to buy, so much gold shall be spent. Here goes Hercubot and Nif. We're also seeing Peke going back, so there is a black cleaver coming out on Yellowstar. As Peke still yet to go back. He's sitting on about 3k gold now. Finally, he's going to go back off there. Cyanide also got himself some nice items. As it stands, Peke, he's got a lot of cash, and he's going to go straight for a static shift, completely catch us all out.
Yeah, Shiv coming out as his next item in this one. That's obviously going to give him a lot more power. Ocelot going to get caught out here. He gets switched around. Can they turn this on its head, though? There's the Absolute Zero. They're focusing in towards Soaz. He gets the ultimate out of Kale, but will it be enough? Yes, it will. He will be able to walk away from that, but a lot blown in that fight, and it's not over yet, Demon.
No, there was 3 ultimates used from SK Gaming alone there, and I think 3 for Fnatic, so pretty much even things up. They both all went for the kills there. Nobody managed to land their hyperkinetic reversal on towards Ocelot, but he just got straight out of the way. Flash was burned, so as also having to really take a lot of the damage, tanked up the damage, honestly, and that Cyanide ultimate just showing how worthful? That's not even a word. Worthy. Thank you very much, Joe Miller. That's why he's alongside me. He helps me out in these situations, and well, they managed to help them out, and their teammates helped them out getting out of that position, so we managed to carry that one, Joe. No problem. Nobody noticed.
Nobody noticed. So we're about half an hour in towards this game. Look at that gold. 200 is the difference right now. 3-2 on turrets, 4-2 on kills are going in different directions as we see the ulti come out of Caitlyn. Blocked nicely by Hercule, but very solid tanky Cho'Gath that he is right now with that locket in there. Giant's Belt, boots and mobility to help him get around the map. We'll see how this one all goes down as the wall will catch Peke, but he will 90 caliber net himself away and stay safe. The stun landed onto Urgot, but again they can't quite follow up from that.
Yeah, the traps keep getting laid out. There's cookies for that rat, but he's not taking them. Static Shiv poking out, trying to put as much damage out there. This damage is going to build up. This is going to start to hurt for them. They are going to have a heck of a lot of damage to outlay, but the question is, are they going to get it onto the right targets? Because Kevin is going to become fearsome. He's got that Sunfire Cape, he's got that Warmogs, he's got the Ninja Tabby. He's going to be stomping through that team straight for them. 300 CS broken now by Peke. Lots of kills across the board in terms of creep score, not so much in terms of kills across the board. They're 4-2, just the kills. 30 minutes gone. That's a big spread average, but Fnatic 200 gold in the lead. They are 3-2 up in turrets. Peke pushing in that top lane. Is he going to get himself caught out of position? There's a ping from SK Gaming on the blue buff here, Joe. Looks like SK are going to head for it.
Yep, they are headed down towards that position. A ward will actually spot where they're going. SK put wards down of their own. They've got one by the dragon as well. What are Fnatic going to do about this one? Olaf is actually working his way through that enemy jungle as they are now going to start working their way on this blue buff. Ocelot has got his ultimate in position. Smite was actually used there by Hercubot to help out. Wow. And that will be taken away from Fnatic.
That was a very scared Fnatic. They could have piled up that mid and forced the problem, forced the fight on their own turret. They could have taken that down, but they just didn't want to go for it. They were scared to get caught out of position. They had no vision of really where SK went. SK just snuck around, went in there, and just took what they wanted. That is a problem for Fnatic now. I wonder how they're going to deal with this one. It seems to me they don't want a straight-up 5v5 fight right now.
It looks that way, and if we look at the gold, it's not really a surprise. I mean, yes, it's 4-2, but that one turret advantage, the dragon kills coming in, they realize right now that this is very, very close. And if you look down the items, tells a very similar story as well. I still think that this Olaf is going to be a big deal when it comes towards those team fights. We saw that Fnatic didn't want to go for their own blue buff there. They'd lost vision of Kevin from that top lane, and there's no way that they were risking losing everything over a blue buff in that scenario. But I just wonder when those team fights are actually going to come out. Is it going to be a case of one team catching the other completely out of position? I think so. That next dragon will surely be a big thing in the coming moments.
It's Ocelot finally picking up that blue buff. Peke just cleared out another 2 big waves down there, and immediately Candy Panda's going to head down there, pick up the red and respond and clear out that wave. Yellow Star heading back. He's got a chunk of gold as well. It's a Giant's Belt for Peke. He's going to start getting himself up. It's another Giant's Belt for Yellow Star. How much hit points does he want on that Urgot? I do not know. Dragging it
completely from your team, trying to catch the others out. And if he can land that ulti on enough people, it could be very, very dangerous. But you can see it's really balanced on a knife edge right now. Both of these teams looking for that way in, looking for that one positional mistake which may give them the edge in a team fight.
Well, they are slowly chipping away at this one. There is a Giant wave coming along the top and the bottom right now for Fnatic, so they may get a bit of positional advantage. They're working that turret down. They've got it down to half health already, driving it down. Will they rotate round? That's the question. They're going to continue on. You can see Peke, he's just been tanking this turret up the whole time, and Rated keeps topping him off with that health. Another creep wave comes in. Ocelot this time has had to back away. He's just returning. SK Gaming are going to try and go for this one. The rupture comes through. Peke's going to be the target, but he's going to get away. He gets wall. 90 caliber net did not land, but the invulnerability is there. Peke, he's going to get dropped though. Coming around the side, Soaz tried to get into him, but SK Gaming are the ones that picked up the kill. Can they get on towards N-Rated now? The stun tries to come out there. You get the slow from Diff. The silence comes out. He's not going to be able to escape this one. They've turned their attention around. They've gone up towards Urgot though, and SK Gaming split across, but Fnatic were the ones that went 1 for 0.
Yeah, that was not the best trade that they were looking for. I mean, Ocelot joining back into that one fairly late. We can see the route here from SK Gaming. They are not messing around. They've got that advantage. They're going for Baron. Soaz doesn't have a teleport, of course, so he's alone. He's on an island right now in this bottom lane. But how far will he be able to push through with SK here doing this Baron? There's no one really near enough to steal away. They've got Urgot on the side, but he's not going to have that damage as they do turn around. This is going to be a kill surely for Candy Panda. Actually, flash use. Ocelot steals it away, but in the meantime, Soaz is pushing. This bottom inhibitor turret is going to be taken down here, and Soaz is going to have men coming in towards him, but they can't save that turret. It will be finished off by the minion, and Soaz legs it to safety, but how safe is he going to be? They've pinned him in. He uses the Zhonya's. Completely pointless in that scenario. He goes down.
Well, waste the time and waste the cooldown on that Zhonya's, but he got the inhibitor turret. The question is, can SK react to this one? They're going to have to pile up that mid lane. They have the Baron. They are 7-2 on kills. They have the gold advantage at around about 1k, but they are 5-2 down in turrets. Can they even that out? They're going to take this middle turret without question. They should take the inner turret as well without question as well. You can see they're piling through. They have that tanky front line that Fnatic do not have. They can get straight in now. Oh, he's going to get caught out of position, and Rated completely caught. He's going to get nommed down, Cho down. He is a feast for Hyukibot. And now though, Nif taken low. The turret's going to finish him off. Cyanide picks up the kill. Peke is back in there. Can he dodge around? Can he get the damage down? Kevin's going to come back in towards him. It is just 2 turrets and a kill for that Baron. Who wins out? Who was it worth it for? An exposed inhibitor that minions are pushing down? SK going to have to react to this one, even with the Baron buff on.
That's, whilst you'd say that SK may be having the advantage from that one, the good thing is that they now have to babysit their base somewhat. It's to that bottom lane, which is pretty much the furthest away from where they're going to want this action to be right now, because they pushed that middle lane out. Yes, all right, could have been a top lane and then it'd be even further, but still great position. And look at Kevin. He's taking a lot from Fnatic, but hardly taking any health. They've managed to pick up a turret from that one, though, which is the big thing that Fnatic were looking for.
They're keeping that turret advantage. 6-4 now at Fnatic. They're going to try and run down to Dragon, see if they can keep SK Gaming on their toes. There is 4 members though. Oh, they're going to catch Peke there. Peke tried to 90 caliber net away, but he didn't get in time. He was caught by that rupture, and SK Gaming on that Baron. Meanwhile, Soaz is just off on his own, off on an island, farming out. There's going to be another Dragon picked up for SK Gaming. I think they've taken every one so far in this game. I might be wrong. The first one I can't quite remember on, but they are slowly but surely building the advantages, just like they did in Katowice, Joe. Can they turn it around, Fnatic?
Well, it's going to be hard for them this time. They don't have that teleporting power of a Kassadin to do something amazing
this time,
like
Kevin
that.
Got home guard boots.
Kevin's got home guard boots this time. He's not messing around for that. He's like, no chance, not a prayer. I'm sure Ocelot told them next time we face Fnatic, everyone get home guard boots.
Home guard boots across the board. Yeah, that's what they have. You can see it. We are not getting caught out this time around. Hyukibot was a chokeout, remember, as well. So look at the gold spread across there. Top lane actually is fairly close, just 500 gold between them, but look at Peke, miles ahead of Ocelot at the moment, but Candy Panda miles ahead of Yellowstar, so it does even itself out. And you know, Yellowstar is a long way behind Ocelot if you wanted to use the balancing gold levels, which is why you can see that gold shift. You can see that 3k gold advantage, 8-3 in kills, and SK Gaming still have a little bit left on this Baron buff. It's around about just under a minute's time, 45 seconds almost. Yellowstar, caught out there. The wall just managed to catch him. The damage coming down. He's still pinned out of position. The wall has just dissipated. Now they're going to come around. They're going to get the rupture down. Invulnerability had to get used because Spray of Prey was coming out. Kevin comes around the side. Can they get Yellowstar down? One more axe. It's not enough. Oh, the rupture just about misses. And Yellowstar avoids the damage, but Fnatic are in trouble here. SK Gaming are beating down their door.
That was an incredible bit of play there coming out of Fnatic. Gets the speed boost just to avoid that rupture. And, well, SK, they're still, like you said, they're knocking here. And it's not one of those knocking that you really like when a family member's coming to visit. It's when there's an axe murderer at the door. It's that kind of knocking right now that SK are putting down. And Fnatic are going to have to turtle up, soak up the pressure while they can. And the question is, I mean, we've seen this position before. We've seen SK putting down this pressure. We've seen Fnatic having inhibitors away that have, or inhibitor towers open that have forced SK to be really careful, as we are going to see the Evelynn ultimate coming. There's the Caitlyn ace in the hole as the switch comes down. Can they get Nip? He's very, very low. Cyanide will pick up the kill. Hercubot's in the middle of them. Can they do this one? N-Rated is in there trying to control as well. Soaz will get walled into the right side. Egg coming down. There's the ultimate out of Kayle. Kevin is falling low and Peke is still hammering away at them, and he is going to get the kill after the flash. Triple kill for Peke. Can they chase down the rat? No, it's slippery as per usual. Well, that is a 4-0 for Fnatic, and now the pressure is really on.
Candy Panda had to use his QSS and his cleanse to get the hell out of there for that one. He was caught out. N-Raid is quite happily going to tank that one up, and they're going to take the second inhibitor turret of the game. They will take an inhibitor as well. Remember, the bottom one is completely defenseless. Are they going to try and rush this one through? There's 30 seconds on the timer, so they should be able to tank down for the first Nexus turret. Candy Panda gets caught. Oh, he's taken very low, and he gets dropped. That's the 8, and now surely it's going to be Fnatic to take the game. You see SK Gaming hands in the air, but Fnatic Gaming are going to take this match. It's so close at the end, but Fnatic go 1-0, and wow, what another close game. SK Gaming looked like they had it there. They had it once again. The advantage is all them, just like Katowice, but no, Fnatic turned it around on its head when they were being attacked.
There was no amazing one-man show at the end there, but Fnatic on paper did the same thing that we saw in Katowice, you know, a fantastic turnaround from at the end. And because we were up to the 40-minute mark, those big team fights, they cost you games, they can win you games, and that's exactly what we've seen. And Fnatic getting the flying start that they were looking for here in the League of Legends Championship Series in Europe.
Well, you see the sportsmanship between the teams, and well, not quite so much jumping up and cheering and craziness like before, but well, it was fantastic, and well, it's great to see the sportsmanship. So,
and then they got stopped, as they were mentioning during the